Like just regular coaches. How many are emeralds? Anybody? Ooh, anybody else diamond on here? Awesome. Okay. Well, here's a little bit about me. I am 34 years old. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I lived in Atlanta for a while. And like Paige said, we kind of just like ran into each other randomly, like finding food. What else do people do on trips? We're just finding food. But I was so inspired by her because I'm like, oh, she's been in the business for less time than me. And like everybody has a different story. And I think that's the beauty of coaching is like, there's no set time to accomplish anything. Like you can be diamond in 90 days, you can be a diamond in 5 years. And so my journey is interesting because I've been in the business for about 4.5 years now. The background about me is I actually, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I was gonna be a health and fitness coach, I would have just laughed in your face. I was a bartender. I was supposed to be a chef, like on TV. That was my dream. And that life was not so glamorous, not so healthy, took a toll on me. I was in bad relationships, like just kind of not in a good place. So I figured graduating myself, because I did get a college degree, into the corporate world to get that 9 to 5 was going to be the thing that changed my life, right? I was like, I'll be able to find a normal relationship, have a consistent paycheck, so on and so forth. Well, while it did provide me a lot of things, including, lead me to my husband, which we now have a baby together. We're in the process of a divorce. But like, I felt very strangled in that environment. Like, I know you guys know from Paige, because you hear her story all the time, that sometimes it just feels like you're made for something more. That's exactly how I felt, but I didn't know what it was. I remember just coming home and being like, I'm going to start putting Post-it notes on things. I hate the way the society portrays girls. Like, I just feel like the world needs more self-love. So I started a movement called Post-it Forward. And I used to write like Bible passages on them and you are beautiful. And I'd stick them in magazines and in elevators. And I was like, I'm going to start this big thing called Post-it Forward, but it was already created. So then I was really frustrated because I'm like, well, now I can't do that. Somebody else did it. However, a month later, I ran into a clean eating group on Facebook. And this is important for you to know because I started with a free group. And my coach was a cancer survivor. I had no idea it had anything to do with Beachbody. I just joined. One day she posted about 10-minute abs and I was like in. And so she hooked me up with the 21-day fix and I saw immediate results. And here I am today. After like 2 weeks, I think I lost like 6 pounds, 9 inches. I was just like, how are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? And she goes, well, I'm a coach, you can make money doing this. And I was like, really? Like a couple bucks? I had no idea. So my first paycheck for me was posting 3-day refresh because that was my next program. And I got, oh my gosh, I think like 17 people interested and I didn't expect that at all. I was terrified to post, the before and afters. But my first paycheck was $250. And that was it for me. That was like my light at the end of the tunnel from the corporate world. And my team is now called Push Play It Forward. So there's always a reason behind the season of like what you're doing. Like God always has a plan, right? There's always like something bigger. And today I am now like what I call myself like a retired hospitality hustler, corporate ladder climber. And now I'm like inspiring other moms, right? Any other moms on this call? Do I have any? I don't know. If you're not, that's okay. It's all good. I was not a mom when I started. So I started this business like part-time and just really worked in pockets of time. And hopefully I can help you guys with some of that. Again, I'm going to focus on conversations because I think they're important. It might be some stuff you've already heard before, but why can't it hurt to hear it from another perspective, right? So inviting is definitely a must. Like what you need to know is that not everyone will come to you. I know that for most of us now, it's like Instagram's the jam, right? Who loves Instagram? I do. I mean, it's so fun, right? Like, how do we get a job on Instagram? It's awesome. Everyone wants that. So like inviting in your stories, I feel like is really impactful, but you can obviously do it in your posts and you can do it in person. I put birthday messages here too, because I'm a big birthday message person. I started my business on Facebook and I kind of moved over to Instagram. So this is a tip that I don't know if everybody knows on here, but like one of the biggest, I would say 90% of my closes, like sale or whatever you want to call it, like when I talk to people, start from a birthday message. So I always personalize birthday messages instead of writing on somebody's wall. And it just turns into this nice conversation because you don't have to start with anything Beachbody. You're just like, hey, how was your birthday? You know, you say happy birthday. I hope you have a great day. They respond, and then you start the conversation from there. And it's just this easy way, instead of having to feel a little bit icky, because I know we've all been there, like, how do I start talking to people? That might be a good thing that you've never tried before. So we got invites out. You know, we're asking people to join this journey with us. So then what, right? It's important to know what to do. Personally, for me, I go through my stories. Like, I pick 3 people a day, or I write them down. Like, I obviously use tracking. If you're a Teamsy person, I'm a one-page CRM person and a notebook person. If you guys never use that, I'm more than happy to answer any questions on that at the end. However, you know, I pick at least 3 to 5 people a day just to say thank you for watching my stories. And I'm always end up making fun of myself. I'll be like, hey, did you like my socks in my stories today? Like, if you go look at mine, I posted these man socks that I'm wearing. You know, Paige probably has you could be like, did you like my dance moves today? I'm sure there's other dancers in here, right? And then you get to that part. My go-to invite is always, hey, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And I think it's one of those things where I'm going to talk about open-ended questions, because a lot of us get caught up in what to say and how to say it. It's always the scary thing. And when you ask somebody, have you ever thought about what I do? You would typically get the objection up front right away. And they're going to be like, yeah, but I don't have a personality like you. Yeah, but I don't have a beach body. Yeah, but I can't eat healthy. I don't have the time to do what you do, right? So anyways, say you do that. Now you get the conversation going. At this point, you want to be a really active listener. I think this is an important thing that sometimes people forget. As a new coach, I did not do this. I was terrible at it. I just wanted to word vomit on people. But you also want to allow the prospect, so to speak. Can you guys see my screen okay? I just want to make sure. Maybe I'll minimize this. While also allowing that person to be part of the process, right? So some pro tips are so I see what you're saying. Can I just check what you said? You know, you're making sure that you're hearing them, paying full attention, being focused. Don't do it while you're, I don't know, having a conversation with your husband or your significant other, or you're yelling at your dog. I mean, nothing's in a perfect world, but, you know, try to really work out blocks where you can be focused. You know, encourage, nodding if you're in person. Reflective feelings. You sound upset, or you sound upset about that. Let's talk more about it. I noticed that you seem anxious when you mentioned such and such. Overall, it seems, so I put this together, what it seems most important to summarize what you said. So all these little things, and I'll share this presentation with you guys in case you feel like you're writing your hand off right now. I'm going to share a bunch of cool stuff with you at the end, including a couple documents that'll help you with objections and conversations. But just keep in mind that this conversation that you're having might take a while. It might, but it's going to be so worth it if you remember that it's not about you, it's about them. It really is. Like Paige said on the top of the call, we're here to change lives, you know? So the process of the conversation is so important. You know, so you're inviting. Like I said, it doesn't have to be complicated. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? And this could just be for workouts, right? Or just for the eating plan that you invited to, that you posted about. You know, receive the interest. This gives you permission to dive deeper with the person. Then there's the consulting process. I don't want to sound too corporate or whatever, but I relate this to somebody when you go get your hair done. You know, if you go and get your hair done, you're just I want this and that. You'll notice that the hairdresser does not want to screw up your head. So they will ask you a ton of questions. That's our job too, because we want to make sure that we're offering them a strong recommendation. So sometimes you have to ask a couple more questions in the conversation to offer that strong recommendation. Recommend and educate. Educate eliminates fear, honestly, and I'll get more into that. Provide third-party tools. Don't underestimate those videos, you guys, that Autumn makes and whoever. Carl, don't underestimate them. You guys know what I'm talking about, all the videos, right? Schedule a follow-up with people because humans just need deadlines. Then you're going to follow up. You're going to ask for the sale, and I hate to use that word, I really do, but I think at the end of the day, we're selling something, even though we're helping people. So I'm just going to use that term, so don't take that too personally or anything if you don't like that word. Promise it's not that scary. And then you're going to close. And at that point, you're going to either overcome objections or like go back and repeat, right? So the next slide is the conversation process is ask like open-ended questions. So what I mean by that is like using verbiage that isn't intimidated or strictly beach body. Sometimes instead of a challenge pack, I'll say like a wellness pack or fitness plus nutrition plus accountability. Like some people are like, what the heck's a challenge pack? What the heck's a challenge group? They don't know, right? Focus on the area of their biggest concern when you're in that conversation process. So when you're asking them questions, they're going to be like, I really struggle with nutrition. So you're always going to focus on that area with them. Identifying like the key information by getting permission to ask some questions. So when you're in this process, you're saying, hey, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And they're like, yeah, I'd love to get in shape. However, I can't focus on my nutrition. I really don't have time to work out and the gym didn't work for me. You're going to say, okay, great. I think I might be able to help you. Do you mind if I start by asking you a few questions? That's what I always do anyways. And if the cost conversation comes up, how many get cost like all the time, right? They're always going to be like, how much is it? What is it? And you're like, whoa, girl, let me help you. Let me slow your roll. It actually ranges, like what I say is it actually ranges based on what is for you. The way this is set up is I can actually put your wellness package together for you once we choose what's right for you. So at this time, I don't have enough time or I don't have enough information on what you need. And I don't really want to give you a made up number or not an accurate number. So do you mind if I ask you a couple more questions? You can also say something like, well, based on what we've talked about, you'll fall on an average estimate of between $70 and $220. But like I said, I need to know some more information first so we can know what you need and, get to the best deal for you. Because at the end of the day, you always want to make sure that they know you're trying to save them money. The consulting part, like I mentioned, is huge. So like the ability to communicate with someone and understand their needs. I hate to say this. I know we want to skip over this part, but it's so important because we really want lifers. I mean, we all get those reports at the end of the year. And if you haven't been around forever, Beachbody sends you like a report at the end of the year. And I remember one year I had like 4 people on Shakeology and I had a lot of customers and I was like, ugh, I'm not educating or asking the right questions. And it was a personal self-reflection thing for me. So I'm going to give you guys a list of questions that this exact document for page to share with you in your team page. You guys don't have to go through all of them, but there's some great examples. So like, what is your current fitness routine, if you have any? How often do you work out? How long do you work out for? And what do your workouts consist of? And I always go through like workouts first, right? And then like, what has worked for you in the past? So, you're really getting to know them. It's kind of like a first date, guys. Like Keisha, I'm thinking about Keisha page where it's like, you want to really get to know what they really need and what they've done before. Like, what is your goal? What are you specifically wanting to change and why? How would it make you feel? This is a huge one that I ask to achieve your goal. Because sometimes people just say what, right? Like, I want to lose 20 pounds. And you're like, yeah, but I need you to get deeper with me, girl. Like, how would it feel if you lost those 20 pounds and you ended up in that size 6 and you were in a dressing room and then all of a sudden you're doing the page dance because you're like, holy cow, I just crushed this. That's what you want to get them to feel. That's going to overcome any freaking money objection that you can think of. How much time in a day are you willing to carve out for workouts? Are you willing to get up a little bit earlier? Put on these expectations. Stay up a little bit later. Adjust some things in your life to fit in. And then I always end with the scale of 1 to 10. And then honestly, I go through all this stuff and I will share this more in like the presentation, but I talk about Shakeology at the end, and it's not to discredit Shakeology, but I think it's something that needs its own conversation because sometimes rolling it in together I found is different, right? If this is overwhelming you, don't worry. It's not that scary, I promise. You're just basically asking people questions. What type of coach do you need to be, right? What do you struggle with as far as nutrition? So this is where Shakeology kind of comes in. Like, this is like where people, and I know you guys have heard this a million times probably, I hope anyways, this is going to be the thing that helps them with their cravings, with their whatever. So it's definitely not something we want to skip. I know in the beginning of coaching for me, I was so scared because I thought Shakeology was expensive. So you need to get rid of that fear yourself and know that like this is the best solution for them. Because also it helps when you hit Success Club because then you get to go on cool trips, right? So I'll get more on that. The next part is really like recommending and educating. So say you ask all those questions and you're feeling really good. Like, you know, based off that conversation and all the questions you asked, you're like, dude, they would be awesome. I don't know if you guys say dude, I'm sorry. My Chicago is coming out. But like, you know that they would be great with Transform 20 because you just crushed it. Or you know Ultimate Portion Fix is for them. You want to recommend them something that you're sure is right for them. And if you're questioning what's right for them, then you don't have enough information. It's your business. It's your relationship with that person. You know, at this point, focus on what they're searching for in that solution, and then they can be more excited about it, right? So you're going to explain the recommendation briefly using 1 to 2 sentences. Here's an example. Because you said you struggle with nutrition, or you only want to work out about 4 to 5 days a week, I want to recommend a mixture of cardio and weights. I highly recommend Lift 4 because it's only 4 days a week and it has both components that you're going to love. It's my favorite program and I got amazing results. Have you heard it before? Listen to them, right? Because then we go back to the listening phase, be excited, and send them a third-party tool. So then we send them the really pretty the really pretty video of Joel, and then they're like, oh my God, I wouldn't mind working out with him. So thank you for that, Joel. You kind of just steal the thunder there, make our lives easier. And then you're gonna like write down where you're at. Awesome. Okay, so here's a short video describing what it is. I'm gonna run some errands tonight, but I'll be back in my inbox later, and I can check on you then and see what you liked about the video. Will you have watched it by then? Sometimes I put like 8 o'clock or something, because we have boundaries with our inbox, right? It's hard, I know. But sometimes when you put that label on, hey, I'm going to get back to you, it gives them more credibility to actually do it. Again, humans need deadlines. So then the follow-up, right? So say they have not seen the message and it's like a day gone by or a day or two. You can say something like this. Hey, Jackie, I noticed you haven't seen the message I sent, so I'm assuming you haven't watched the video yet. I just wanted to say true to my word and check in on you. I'm assuming you got busy, so I'll check back with you again tomorrow evening. You want to chat soon? Can't wait to hear what you think. So you're not being weird. You know, sometimes I've even said something is weird. I kept it professional, but sometimes I'll be like, do I scare you away because I'm goofy so like I can get away with that? Or if it's somebody I kind of know personally and then they're like, no, it's all good. And they come back because people really aren't on social media as much as we are, right? Say they have seen the message. Hey, Jackie, I saw that you saw the message and I'm sure you're just busy, but I wanted to drop in like I said I would and see how you like the video. Did you get a chance to watch it? Okay, say they say it doesn't look like it's for them. Oh, hey, Jackie, wow, I'm shocked you thought that. I was sure you love it. It's okay, we have some other options. Can you tell me a little bit about what you liked about it or you didn't like, or maybe what you wish was different? Say they watched it and they liked it. Awesome. I'm so excited. I knew you would. Okay, just to gauge where you're at on this, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, and 10 being let's do this, where are you? And are you ready to jump in and why? So anything less than a 10, you might need to overcome a couple more objections, right? And that's okay. And guys, why this is so important is because you don't want them to get in a challenge group and not do anything. I mean, how many times have we had challengers and then they just show up and you're like, oh, I thought they were excited. It's usually because they're still scared of something, and sometimes we just need to spend a little bit more time with them in the conversation process. Again, this will get easier for you when time elapses. So the follow-up to the follow-up is definitely important. Hey, girl, when they say they haven't had time to watch it. Hey, girl, I totally get that. Time is crazy for us all. It's literally 3 minutes. I know you're going to love it. So maybe pop it on while you're cooking dinner or folding laundry or preparing something to be inspired. I'll check back with you again tomorrow night. Feel free to message me after as you watch. And I know you'll be excited to jump in. Chat with you soon. After a second follow-up with no response, you at this point feel completely rejected, right? No, I'm kidding. But at this point, you want to close the conversation. One of the things that I learned is just leaving people blank is kind of like, I don't know, having a bad experience at like a store or something, and like a customer service rep just like ignoring you and pretending you weren't there. So you always got to think about stuff like that. So let's talk to Jackie again. Hey, Jackie, I just want to touch base with you. It seems like you got really busy and I don't want to be popping in your inbox if you're not ready. So I'll put you on my calendar to check back with you in a month or two and we can chat then. Does that sound good? Hope all is well. And if she goes to at that point, girl, there's plenty other fish in the sea. But at least you know you did everything on your part to actually like follow through. And that leaves you with a ton of credibility, you guys. It's such a big deal. And don't be afraid to ask for the sale. So say you don't get ghosted and it just keeps going well. The scale of 1 to 10 thing is great. Obviously, I mentioned an example of that. What else you can say when you're close? All right, I'm so excited for you. Are you ready to do this? And let them be excited back. Send a little GIF or GIF, whatever you guys say. I got a chat. Oh, I love these follow-ups. Yes, it's so funny when people ghost. It's like, oh, I don't know what to say. So awkward. All right, girl, or, you know, a GIF. Send like a little dancing one or like something to get them excited, right? Another one is, all right, girl, if you're not a hey girl person, you probably hate me right now. You don't have to say girl, but it's fine. I'm setting up your wellness pack right now. Shoot me your email and let's decide on your Shakeology flavor. What is your favorite sweet treat? I use one of these depending on, you know, the person and how the conversation is went and what I believe is like best to respond to. Honestly, I think it depends on the person. Use your personality. You don't have to say what I say verbatim, but these are just really general things that you can do, especially if you're stuck. And then once you start taking other people's words, eventually you can make them your own. What about the almost close, right? Like, so say they're at a 10 and it's time to close the deal, but first, have you considered the second portion of what's going to get them the results they want? The nutrition, the boot camp, and what about the discount option, right? Because we know that discounts build our residual income. We know that discounts eventually turn into coaches, right, guys? So we definitely don't want to ignore this. And for me, asking people to be discount coaches scared me a lot. But we're going to talk to Jackie again, and I'm going to help you out here. Okay, Jackie, so I have you all ready to go with the on-demand, and we are jumping into Lift 4, which is so exciting, but I have to ask you one last question. How are your things nutritionally for you? What do you struggle with? And maybe you already talked about this, guys. Okay, now we're gonna go to Emily. These are examples. All right, Emily, so I know we now talked about Shakeology and it's completely perfect for you, and I'm super excited for you to jump in it. Can I ask really quick, since I know your goals, what it takes to get you there? I don't even know what I wrote at the end of this. Sorry, my thing's like blocking me. Nutrition or fitness, or what will you be doing for fitness? So these are just examples of like when people are almost there, what you can say, right? But don't forget the Shakeology part. So here's what I wanted to mention through that. Go through this process with the other piece to their solution and put together their wellness pack based on their needs. We know that whatever the end results is, know that it's okay as long as you educate your people to the best of your ability, guys. This is going to be the key for you. So here's the verbiage to sort of like upsell it. Shakeology can be added to your pack for half off, which is crazy because it is never on sale. And I hope you guys know that. I don't know if you ever say that, but it's like, that's the only time you can get it half price. You're getting it for $60 when you're ordering Beachbody on demand. Have you heard of this before? What do you struggle with nutritionally? You can get an entire year of on demand for $30 by adding it into your wellness package today. And that's unheard of price. I know nutrition was a concern for you, but what will you be doing for fitness? Also, you do not have to remind them of the 30-day money-back guarantee and the bottom of, oh, don't forget to remind them, sorry, I read that wrong because my mind is really excited right now, but don't forget to remind them of that. So say you're talking about it and they're like, well, I don't know about Shakeology. I'm not a shake person. Okay, great. I understand that. Ask them a couple questions. Maybe they don't like taste of shakes. Maybe they're just scared to spend the money. Even if it's half price, you know how people get. What you can always say is, hey, listen, I get it. I know how you feel. I want to remind you and let you know that we believe, and I believe so strongly in the fact that you're going to like it, that there's actually a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you could drink every single shake, and within 30 days, if you call them, say, I don't like it, they're going to give you all your money back. No questions asked. Usually people are like, what? Really? You're like, yes. And they're not going to hate it, you guys. And everybody in your challenge group is going to be drinking it, including you. So now, you know what's going on with the wellness package. You're excited. They're excited. You have their email and their Shakeology flavor. And basically it's based on a sweet treat. And you're already ready to send them the email, the shareable link. And this is often when the close comes up again, or when the cost comes up again. If it doesn't come up, don't bring it up. Okay. I know it sounds bad, but like, you don't have to, because usually at this point you've overcome all their objections. You have really helped them figure out their solution for what they've been missing, because you're asking them all these questions. And if it does, lay it out for them visually with what it would cost them individually. Like, you can say, hey, here's what it is with Beachbody On Demand. It's $99. Then you have it with Shakeology, right? And when you put it together, you're saving them $115. I'm just thinking of the All Access Challenge Pack, and I'm giving you a deal where you're saving this much money. So when you lay it out for them sometimes like that, it's way better, way easier, and they are more likely to say, okay. For example, let's break this down for you so you can see the value of what you're getting. The year of Beachbody On Demand is $99. Shakeology alone is $4 a shake, which brings you to $130. That's 30 meals. Then you get the Lift 4 accessory bundle. That's $60. You're getting all of this for $180. It's a total steal. I can't wait to see your results. I'm going to get the share cart ready for you, and I'll be back with your personal link to order. Does that sound good? Pro tip, assume it's fine, you guys. When you start getting backpedaling and you're scared to deliver the actual price, or you're like, yeah, but this, and I get it that it feels weird, they're going to feel your energy on that. So just assume that what you're offering them is fine for them. Because again, you've created the solution that they've been looking for in your conversations. Another thing is that like objections are a whole different world. I don't even know if this is blocking your view, but like, I am going to provide you guys a whole list of objections. Like, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the energy, whatever. And I think it'll help you guys just as a reference to look at, because I know it helped me 100% just when I saw somebody write it out. But if there's a cost objection at any point or not, offer the discount opportunity. Just do it, right? I mentioned that I was going to share this with you guys. So here's an example. I totally understand you feeling the way you do about the price. I felt that way too. When I started, what I found was that I quickly got results, right? Because you can share. I shared 6 pounds, 9 inches, 2 weeks. I felt better, and I couldn't put a price tag on what I got in return. That is why I became a coach the same time, actually, because what I decided was I was going to get better results. I might as well earn the cost back. I've profited every single month since. Have you ever considered doing that? I can show you some more information on what that looks like. So this is like with the objection, and you're using like the feel, felt, found method, because that's just the nice way to do it, honestly. If there's no objection, oh, Jackie, I almost forgot. We're going to be working together for quite a few months. Right? You're creating that long-lasting relationship. And I want you to save the most you can in this process. So there's a way for that to happen today. You can save $20 a month. I say 20. You can say 17, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm not a liar. I just usually say that because it depends on the state you're living in. But you can save $20 a month on your future Shakeology orders, as well as 25% on any additional purchases. It also gives you the chance to earn back when people see your amazing results as well, instead of sending them to me. Are you interested in hearing more about this? So you're always going to offer the opportunity to do the discount, because it's just going to benefit them. Like later, think about it this way. I feel like we have a responsibility to share the coaching opportunity because it's a gift. It's not just this icky feeling. You're not asking somebody to, you can do it in a different way and just ask them how to join your team. But like, what if they find out later from another challenger that they made friends with in your group that like they have the discount and they're like, why didn't my coach offer me that? So just make it a routine for yourself and it's going to help you so much in the long run. If they're like, what? Be like, I know what you're thinking and no, I know what you're thinking. It isn't too much. It's your job to give them all the options, right? And educate them, but layer in like a personal way. Complete their wellness pack. Send them the link. Have them let you know when it's complete. Celebrate with them and plug them in. Honestly, if you've done everything that I'm saying, and I'm not going to say it's going to look the same for you. I'm just mean like if you go through the whole process of them, like the invite, then you're going through the consulting, you're asking them all the questions, you're finding them a solution, and you're offering the discount, you should be able to close 100% of your share cards. I know for me in the past, they were sitting there for a while and I was like, what am I missing? What am I doing wrong? So sometimes when you still see somebody sitting in the share cart, it means that you just haven't overcome all of their objections yet, you guys. And that's okay. It's totally okay. If they don't complete the purchase and they stop responding to you, just follow the procedure for the follow-up portion that I mentioned and close the conversation if needed. Trust me, they'll be back. Might not be right away, but they'll be back as long as you're doing it. And just know this, objections are normal. Like Melanie Mitchell gets objections, Bonnie Engel gets objections, Ashley Molstead gets them. We all get them. They're really just fears that people need to calm. So here's my tips for that. Always relate, educate, and keep engaging people. Keep that conversation going for as long as you can. Use the feel, felt, found method. I mentioned that in a couple conversations. The education is key. So just helping people understand, that like you're a perfect solution, or maybe understanding more about Shakeology. If they're like, I don't really get what it is, send them a video, send them those third-party tools, or get really specific on how it helped you and share your story about it. It cleared up my hair, skin, and nails. I use it as a prenatal. I can still drink it while breastfeeding, whatever. Those are powerful statements for people. We're not doctors, don't get me wrong, but education is key. It's a good thing to be asking someone hard questions because then they also respect you. So don't feel weird about asking them, what they eat in a day. Like just say no judgment with like a little question mark or something. Allow them to know that the decision is in their hands. You're just doing everything you can on your end to help them make an educated decision. Tie in their wants, that size 6, that happy dance in the freaking dressing room, right? Be confident in your recommendation. You will get there. You don't have to know everything about Beachbody. Maybe you just focus on your program. For 2 years, you guys, I only sold 21-day fixed challenge packs, but it got me to diamond. So, hey, do not leave anything unanswered. Inspire them by sharing your journey. Believe in them. Say, I know this is scary for you, but I believe in you because I know if I can do this, you can do this. Offer that 30-day money-back guarantee and use some quotes like, nothing changes if nothing changes. You'll sound really smart and inspiring, but you know what I mean? Like people sometimes just need to hear that stuff. What is the discount opportunity? Sorry, I'm just looking at the questions. I can help you guys with this stuff. Is that just signing up as a coach? Exactly, Jillian. So the discount opportunity, I guess I just call it that. Maybe you guys call it something. It's just offering somebody 25% off and signing up as a coach. Yes, on paper it is the exact same. Some people sign up to be discount coaches and yes, awesome. Thank you for answering that, Paige. So I hope this helped you guys. I know it was like kind of a lot of information. Does anyone have any questions on like that portion itself? Again, I'll share stuff with you guys. Let me just show you something really quick. So in my team page, I have a couple of documents. This is my team page. Welcome to our little home. I'm sure, Paige, you have a page. I don't mean to say it like that. I'm sure it's full of energy and life, right? Okay, so I have this awesome thing called common objections and fears, like how to navigate through anything. So like, what is a challenge group? When somebody says, no, this is not for me, I can't work out due to a restriction, I'll think about it and let you know, not in the budget, too busy. So again, there's going to be a bunch of objections that come up for you. I'm going to share this with Paige so then she can share it with you guys. And then those consulting questions list, I'll just put this in a little Google Doc and share it with you guys as well. And again, you don't have to invite the way that I do. I just sometimes think that no matter all this information that I shared with you guys, you might take a nugget or two. And that's really what coaching is all about. And I know that Paige would say the same. Like, we went to NLC and heard from a million speakers, you guys. A million. Not a million. It felt like that. But it was like information overload. And all I knew at the end of it was that I could take a couple really great things that I learned from them and make it my own. You're not going to be able to take everything. You're not going to be able to sound exactly like me. But one of the things I wanted to share with you guys, I told Paige I would do mindset, and I know you're probably sick of hearing me talk at this point. But I have this thing that I do with my coaches, and I wish I was with you guys, but does anyone have, like, you guys have like a bracelet that just slips on and off? You could even do it with like a rubber band. One thing, I heard this on a podcast, and this is a question that people often don't realize. Like, if I asked you who you love, how long would it take you to name yourself? What would we say, right? We'd say my dog, my cat. We'd say my mom, my parents, maybe my baby, maybe my significant other. So I want to challenge you guys with something. Place a bracelet that's easy to slip on and off, or like a little thing like this on your left wrist. And every time you catch yourself being unkind to yourself, I want you to switch it to your right wrist. And what I mean by unkind is when we call ourselves things like, I'm an idiot, or I totally suck at that, or I failed, I'm terrible at this, like I didn't get up early enough. And I want to challenge you to keep that bracelet on the same wrist for 21 days. Right? Because the way we speak to ourselves is everything about this business. It is everything. I'm telling you right now, I try to do this. I switched this thing on and off about 6 times the first day. I was like, this is really hard. But the whole point of it is to really make yourself aware of how you're treating yourself. We are coaches. So sometimes I know it's hard for us to always be on. But the way we can do that is just by making ourselves aware with certain pieces of accountability, right? So try the bracelet thing. Let me know how it goes. I actually just presented this at a little seminar over the weekend, and now people are using it, like the hashtag kindness confession. So if you happen to do it and you have a bracelet, like I would give you one, but I'm not with you guys. Maybe just tag it, and then that could start a conversation for somebody. Put it in your stories, and people are just going to be attracted to you by you being more positive. The better and more positive you speak to yourself, trust me, that's going to flow into your business, into your life, into your relationships, and to your team and your business that you're creating, you guys. We have such an amazing opportunity at hand. We really do. And I'm so lucky to be here because yes, please use it in your challenge group. I mean, how fun would that be? Like, to just send like your challengers a little, I'll show, it's all the way over there. I won't get it. But I got these bracelets, you guys, from Walmart. Like, literally, there's this cute line. I forget what it's called. I'll tell Paige after this. It's like a line that you can just get 3 of them, and they're slip on and off. And you can just throw them in a piece of mail and send them to your challengers and be like, guys, let's do this kindness challenge. And I don't know, why not, right? There needs to be more stuff like that in the world. So that's all I have. I'm glad you guys liked the last part. I know you did. I know this was a ton of information, but if you have any questions for me or feedback or anything, I'd love to hear it.
Well, I'll tell you, that was so helpful. And one of my favorite things that you said was that any link that you've sent that is just ignored, or any ghost that you get or whatever, it's only because they still have objections. So all it means is that we still have work to do, whether it's still showing up every day or asking more questions, asking the right question, or just educating them a little bit more. I love that idea so much. Anybody have questions?
Awesome. It's okay. You guys
I
don't
have one. I have one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Delayed thought. Do you ever feel like it's too wordy, or do you think that if people are serious about it, that it's not really going to matter how wordy it is?
I totally used to go back and forth with this. I think that it really depends on who you are, to be honest with you. Like, again, this is why I always say that I'm a wordy person, obviously, because you're still on this call with me. But I think that you can say things quicker and effectively, yes, and less wordy and, have it. But for me, what I was noticing is like I was losing people, or my share cart was still sitting there. And I was like, I have to identify what I'm doing wrong. So that's why I started going a little bit more wordy with the feel, felt, found stuff and just reiterating their goals to them. And that really helped me. Am I saying you have to do that? No. Am I saying you have time to do that? Probably no. But it's really trial and error for you. So to answer your point, I think it could go both ways, right?
I am also super wordy, so I was just like,
I
just
think
getting
if
in my
you
own head about it, I guess.
are a super wordy person, or if you have a really wordy answer, my favorite way to answer is through a video in response, or voice, like not voice to text, but literally sending them an audio clip of what I want to say.
Love it. I am such an audio person myself.
When past businesses have approached me and they do like those short little messages, like try to keep it too short, it almost seems like they're hiding something too. So you kind of want to make sure that you're giving all the information. But I mean, there is a borderline between way too wordy and not. But I know that I've caught myself like trying to be as minimal as possible and then going back and reading, and it almost seems like I'm hiding something, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
trying to keep it from them.
Yeah, and it's like there's no perfect way, you guys. Like, you're not going to have perfect conversations all the time. And I think that's one thing too that I didn't really mention, but like if you feel like you screwed up a conversation, you can always recover. Like, you can always just go to them and put the elephant on the table and be like, "Hey, listen," because you really think that they like are a good person. Just be like, I feel like I word vomited on you. I'm still learning my business. I would love to have like a conversation with you all over again. Like, can we have a redo button or something? Don't be afraid to say stuff like that to people, because sometimes that's going to be your next rock star coach or challenger. Because if you're just real with people, they're real back to you. And don't ever feel like you've lost them forever. It's okay to just be like, "Hey, I kind of screwed that up," right? I don't know. And you're so right about like being short with people, like, or when people don't get to know you. I don't know. I just can't. It doesn't feel right? It feels weird.
So do you go through all of those questions, or do you pick and choose on the situation depending on the person?
I kind of pick and choose. Sometimes you don't need all those questions because they end up sharing more. But I really try to let them know that they're loved. And I hate to say this, but like we all just love to talk about ourselves. So like just let them talk. And you'll get to that point where like they might say something, so you don't have to ask them what type of workouts and what, that all that. Like, just go based off the conversation. If you feel like something's missing, maybe go back and use that as a reference for yourself or something. But yeah, I don't do that verbatim, you guys. I'm more of like, honestly, I have all this stuff as a reference, but I'm really a go with the flow type of person depending on their personality. But I just hate giving people that answer, because when I tell my coaches that, they're like, "Oh, just tell me what to say." And I'm like, "Okay, so here you go." And then you make it your own, right?
So not being a mom, I have a couple moms who say they don't have time. I know they have time, but I'm not a mom. And so to hear that from me, I feel like it doesn't sound the same coming from me as it would from a mom. So what do you recommend saying, like overcoming that objection?
This is such a good question, because I remember that too before I had kids, and I was like, "Ugh, it's moms." I work with a million moms, right? Because we do. So sometimes I used to do that, and I'd say, "Hey, I do the feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I once felt that way. But then this is where I think the consulting questions come in handy, because they might have already shared something with you where they want to lose weight, right? So like this mom is coming to you and she wants to lose 20 pounds and she knows you have the solution for her, but she's still scared that she can't fit it into her schedule, right? And maybe that means that you just have to ask her harder questions, because right now she doesn't value workouts and nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
So our job is to educate her on why it's going to be valuable to her. You're going to have more energy. Maybe I can link you up with a bunch of other moms. Seriously, I'm offering myself right now. If you guys ever have a mom who like you want to just point in my direction and be like, this girl's a single mom. Like I'm divorced. Like I have no time to work out or meal prep. Trust me when I say that. So I think it goes back to, and I hope this is helping you, say, if you really say, I understand how you feel, I can imagine that's extremely hard. I don't know what it's like to be a mother. But what I found is that our community of Beachbody really has primarily mothers that value nutrition and fitness so much. So maybe I could connect you with a couple and you could see maybe more why they're able to fit it in their schedule. We're talking about 30 minutes a day. What would that be worth to you long term? And maybe it's because they already told you it's 20. I don't know. You know, that's where you got to get that dressing room feeling kind of thing. Does that help?
Yeah, that's really good. Thanks.
No problem. I don't even know what I just said. Okay. No, it's all good.
Me when I talk, I'm like, I blacked out. I'm not sure.
Isn't that weird?
It is so
Hey,
weird.
I have to tell you this. I listened to your podcast. It was awesome. That one you guest spoke on?
Yeah.
I loved it.
Well,
Did you guys listen to that? It was good. You guys got a cool coach. She's pretty awesome.
We laughed so much together at NLC. Carly and I don't know, we just had this, like, we were just cracking up all the time. It's funny.
Mutual weirdness? I don't know. Yeah.
Definitely that. So, Carly, thank you. Seriously. So helpful. I love, especially, we've been talking about conversations a lot lately, but to hear different coaches' perspectives, it just helps everybody. So we appreciate you. If nobody has any other questions, then I guess we'll sign off with here.
Selfie.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
yeah.
group photo, duh.
Yeah, everybody smiled.
Duh. I love it. You guys are great. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This was fun. Feel free to like reach out, chat anytime. I really feel like we're one big family, guys. So
Just wait till Summit, everybody.
yeah, we'll hang out. We'll have dance parties. Who's taking a picture?
No, I'm just smiling.
We're all just ready. Okay, I'll do one. You guys ready? Cheese. Such a mom. I'm like, cheese.
We're seriously all smiling and nobody had a phone up.
That's awesome.
Had it, okay. That's funny. All right. Well, thanks, Carly. Thanks, everybody, for coming. I know it takes time out of your night, so proud of you all. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.